Organizations today depend on information systems that help them carry out their operation efficiently and reliably, and keep information updated and reliable. Some of these systems have been developed internally and cover just a small fraction of the organization's process or data. They are often not well integrated with other systems and require a substantial amount of manual work to complete the business process. Increasingly, however, large-scale standard packages are replacing the smaller and specialized solutions, whereas the packages in the past were only used by large organizations. We now have software intended for smaller and mid-sized companies as well. An enterprise system is a packaged application that supports and automates business process and manages business data. They come with pre-implemented and customizable modules that reflect best practice for common business operations. Business data from different functional areas are integrated and kept consistent across the organization. A characteristic of enterprise systems is their complexity, both in terms of business data and in the way they affect the organization's business practice and individual work tasks. The term enterprise system is often used synonymously with enterprise business application or with the more restricted term enterprise resource planning system. We will, in this document, base the discussion on ERP systems, but the conclusions are equally valid for other types of enterprise systems. Types of enterprise systems include enterprise resources planning (ERP) system, enterprise planning system, customer relationship management software. Packaged software. Enterprise systems closely mirror the typical operation of large corporations. They include electronic documents for traditional paper documents like purchase orders, sales orders, plant maintenance orders, and invoices. There are enterprise system transactions that automate or support traditional manual tasks like creating purchase order, verifying invoice, and generating various reports. An analysis of all these traditional tasks and documents reveals that there is little variation from one company to another. The companies tend to use the same documents, carry out the same tests, and structure the company along the same lines. This is not very surprising, as these tasks and documents do not really depend on the products or services offered by the organization. They refer to generic activities that any company needs to address to keep the company going and satisfy various legal and business-imposed requirements. For example, both a software company and a travel agency need to purchase products and services. Of course, not all companies have exactly the same internal operation and documents. A consulting company may not need to maintain a plan. Third, it is still the case the most activities of the consulting company are also found in other kinds of company. The idea of packaged enterprise software thus is to develop a solution that incorporates common tasks and data in companies and reflects best practice in the industry. Many of the modules of enterprise systems are implemented in close collaboration with industry partners to ensure that they provide state-of-the-art functionality. Most enterprise systems address the typical backward operation of organizations. These do not constitute any competitive advantage for the organization in any way, and the only concern is to make them as efficient as possible. Since they are of low strategic importance, it is unproblematic that the same package is also used by competitors for strategically important processes. Organizations still tend to develop in-house solutions that are not available to competitors. It has to be noted thought that what is strategically important to some may be of little concern to others. Companies like Amazon and Dell have advanced sales and distribution process that distinguish them from other online shops and give them a strategic advantage. If they adopted a standard sales and distribution package, they would lose this advantage and any of other companies would replicate the way they sell and distribute products on the internet. Standard packages include modules that are to some extent customizable to the needs of the organization. Each module typically corresponds to a functional department and includes a set of transactions. It is up to the organization to select which transaction they should implement and customizable them to their own needs. For example, as part of the customization of the invoice verification transaction, the organization decides to what extent the amounts on the received invoice can deviate from the amounts assumed in the corresponding purchase order. There may be organization needs that cannot be met by the standard functionality, forcing the project to implement add-ons that are added to the standard package as any other transaction. Some of the advantages of standard package are listed in the figure 1. They are usually faster and cheaper to implement, and the functionality is based on sound business practices. However, this is a danger that the package does not provide the functionality the organization really needs. If substantial customization and numerous add-ons are needed, the cost may also rise substantially and lead to later upgrade problems. Many organizations find that standard packages lock them to a particular vendor, since it may be very costly and problematic to replace a package with another one. Integrated solution. The same information is often needed in different departments of an organization. When the purchasing department acquires a new material, it needs information about the material, about potential vendors, and about how to allocate the cost of the material. The sales department needs information about customers rather than vendors, but must also be able to relate revenues to the materials being sold in the past. There will be spread systems for each of the major tasks to be carried out internally. This situation is illustrated in the figure 2, where we can see how different systems keep track of the same business data and exchange information over batch interface. The finance department, for example, would have a general ledger system, an accounts receivable system, and an accounts payable system, and all of them receive data from other department systems. Aggregate data from the GL system is then exported to a separate reporting system at a regular intervals. Each department defines its data according to its own goals and priorities. They use the data for different purposes and may end up with slightly inconsistent records with partly overlapping information. For example, the purchasing department needs the names and address of vendors, price list of all vendors' products, and information about the vendors' deliveries and reliabilities. To the finance department, a vendor is associated with an account and linked to information about its bank, payment conditions, and other financial data. Data had to be reconciled manually every time data was transferred between two systems. The whole concept of maintaining and using batch interface was expensive and prevented the organization from working closely together to carry out the complete business process. Enterprise systems provide an integrated and harmonious view of business data across organizations' boundaries. All the relevant data is stored centrally and no duplicates are used by locally developed systems. Instead of having a range of business applications, we now have a range of transactions in one enterprise system that all access the same database. There is no consistency issue and all applications have access to data that is continuously updated and checked for consistency and completeness. Data from new transactions are immediately input in all the reports available in the system. The data dictionary provides a unified view of all the relevant business data and gives the different departments a common terminology. System complexity. Enterprise systems are among the largest and most complex IT systems on the market. They process thousands of transactions every day and store information about all aspects of the business. However, the most difficult complexity comes from the intricate relationship between enterprise system and organization. Organizations with complex structure and process will necessarily need enterprise systems that are customized to deal with this type of complexity. There are rarely any clear list of requirements in enterprise system projects. The organization has vague ideas of how their operation can be made more efficient, but these ideas cannot be directly translated into system requirements. They also depend on the way the organization works, their internal structures, and their business process. An alternative to customizing a straight approval system for purchase order, for example, is to involve managers directly when purchase orders are created, while defining the system requirements. Thus, the project needs to define organizational structure and business process as well. Terminological misunderstandings and cultural conflicts are not uncommon when people from so different backgrounds meet to discuss project objectives. Take the project data listed in this figure that illustrates some of the complexity of ambitious large-scale enterprise system project. This project, which was for a global market leader in its segment, implemented a comprehensive solution over a 4 year period with some 500 people involved at various stages. A change management team was set up to deal specifically with organizational change in plants and office. As the new solution was defined and prototyped, the CM team tried to assess the impact on organizational units together with the relevant employees. Plans for how to deal with this change and prepare the people were set up and used to work out a comprehensive training program. More than 1,400 user producers were written to explain the new business process and the act training courses were designed. Each site dominated its own local instructors that were trained by the center implementation team. The 245 local instructors then trained almost 4,000 end users at the various sites. With this approach, the project was able to involve the line organization more actively and make sure that the user would feel confident about the new enterprise system. So, software vendors. A few large software vendors dominate the enterprise system business. SAP AG, which has the largest market share with SAP R/3, was founded in 1972 in Watford, Germany, by people that saw a market of generic business applications at a time when business applications were custom made. It has also introduced products for data warehousing, business intelligence. It has also introduced products for data warehousing, business intelligence, and customer relationship management, among other things. The company now has a 30% market share in the street-defined ERP segment, and analysis based on software revenues against the four biggest rivals in the wider enterprise system segment gives SAP close to 60% of the market. The company has more than 21,000 customers in 120 countries that run close to 70,000 SAP installations. The total revenues of SAP in 2003 were at €7 million and the net income was at €1 million. The market of enterprise systems has shown continuous growth over the last 10 years, whereas the total global revenues in the ERP segment were at about 32 million in 1999, and it is now assumed to be close to 58 million. It is worth noting, however, that its isolated implementation costs only account for about a fourth of these total revenues.